People's choice.
It was set in good guy, bad guy terms. White hat, black hat.
This is the first fight between two black men that meant a lot to the public which one of these guys won.
The civil rights movement is gaining strength, and blacks are really into what is known as the politics of respectability. Sonny Liston is seen as a threat to demonstrating what black people can be.
People were being sprayed with hoses and bitten by dogs, and a white reporter asked him, "Are you going to fight for freedom in the South?" And Sonny said, "I ain't got no dog-proof ass."
Sonny Liston was always seen as a thug and a hoodlum, and Patterson was always seen as a gentleman. And you wanted the good kid to win.
I said, "Mr. Patterson, can I have your autograph?" Sonny said, "You don't have to get his autograph. You be getting mine soon." I said, "Thank you, but I'm getting his now."
On September 25, 1962, Liston climbed into the ring and stared into the eyes of his opponent.
Ford looked like he was going to his execution. He went out there with all the heart and all the bravado that a person could muster, knowing he didn't have a chance.
A left to grazing right and a solid left to the cheekbone. Drop the champion.
The forces of evil had triumphed. Satan had defeated St. Michael. It had happened when Sonny Liston beat Floyd Patterson in Chicago.
The winner and the new world heavyweight boxing champion, Sonny Liston.
After 3 decades of rejection, it took Liston just 2 minutes and 6 seconds to capture the attention of the world. Respect, however, would take longer.
After he won the world title, he took a flight back to Philadelphia, expecting to be greeted like a hero.
They open up the plane door and he looks out, and there was a half a dozen publicists out there and photographers from papers, and nobody.
And Sonny realized he would always be Sonny Liston, the gangster, no matter what he did. And it hurt him.
If there was ever a chance Liston was going to change, it ended right there. And he was going to be the bad guy for the rest of his days.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the heavyweight champion of the world, Sonny Liston.
The title of heavyweight champion of the world is the single most prestigious title in the world. It says you are the toughest guy on the planet. And Sonny was absolutely the embodiment of the toughest guy on the planet.
Unwilling or unable to reach out to the public, the new champ returned to the only structured environment he ever knew, this time as a visitor.
He went back to Jeff City to visit his buddies. Sonny didn't forget where he come from.
Sonny was very, very down to earth. And when he wasn't fighting, he would hang with the low-class people because that's what he liked.
Liston remained a favorite target of law enforcement, especially in Philadelphia, where he was ticketed for driving his $8,000 Cadillac too slow.
It's quite a feather in the cap of local policemen if they could be pulling over a world champion. They weren't worried about civil rights or fair treatment.
In the summer of 1962, Liston went to the British Isles on an exhibition tour. He left his mark wherever he went.
Sonny went drinking with these Scots. He pulled out a cigar, and one of them said, "Sonny, please put it out." And Sonny told him what he could do with the cigar, and the Scot said, "Sonny, put the cigar out now, or you're going to go out that window." He put the cigar out, the Scot jumped up, put his arms around him, and they went right on having a party.
I recall some gentleman I was doing business with in Scotland saying, Sonny Liston came over to Glasgow, and every female he came across, he would grab their breasts. And this is not looked upon with favor in Glasgow. I said, well, it's not looked upon with favor pretty much anywhere.
Back in America, Liston moved to Denver in 1963. No matter that he was the heavyweight champion, he couldn't shake the police.
You have to give that to Sonny. He did a lot of the marking himself, but he was a marked man.
Some of the police were terrible to him. I mean, they harassed him, tow his car for being parked too far away from the curb when it wasn't.
Anytime he tried to run in Denver in various parks, he was followed there also and harassed.
He had problems in Denver, he had trouble in St. Louis, he had trouble in Philadelphia. There was no such thing as rehabilitation for Sonny. They wouldn't allow it.
It wasn't for me, Sonny Liston, to be just a dead heavyweight champion trying to find a suitable opponent.
With the sound and fury of Cassius Clay on the rise, Liston again dispatched Patterson in the first round in their rematch at Las Vegas in July of 1963.
At the end of the fight, Clay was ringside. He burst into the ring, ranting and raving. That was the first real experience that Liston had had of this mad guy.
7 months later, Liston surrendered his crown to Clay in a shocking upset.
And I upset Sonny Liston, and I just turned 22 years old. I must be the greatest.
But if the fight spurred controversy, the rematch would prove even more mystifying, as the ex-champion prepared to win back his crown.
Liston trained for this rematch like he'd never trained in his life. Whatever age he was, and there was every chance he was older than he said he was, it took a massive amount out of him.
He had been in shape for the original date of the fight. Ali had a hernia and the fight was postponed.
Liston had to retrain. Having reached that peak of condition, it was felt that it was almost too great a jump to do it again. And that's where his age told.
Here behind me on this windy, cool, misty Maine day is the place where Sonny Liston actually trains. Now, Clay says, and says openly, that you're afraid of him. Once he told me you're a coward. What's your reaction?
Well, if I'm a coward, I would run from him. The coward always run.
Behind the hype of name-calling lay a serious concern. On February 25, 1965, Malcolm X was assassinated. The champion, who had joined the Nation of Islam and adopted a new name, had reason to feel afraid.
There have been reports of black Muslim threats against the life of Muhammad Ali, as the champion prefers to be known, and the police search all packages, suitcases, and even women's handbags.
In the wake of the death threats, the fight had been moved from Boston to a youth center in Lewiston, Maine.
The rumors of mafia forces coming to kill these people, Malcolm X's people. Here we were in some little gym because they're worried about all those things.
There was fear that there would be some kind of war going on between Malcolm X's faction and the Nation of Islam. Liston isn't that great a guy, and he's connected with organized crime, but that's an evil we know. I'd rather have the evil I know than the evil that I don't know. The public really would rather see Liston win.
In the final days before the fight, Liston, if only by default, was lifted by a measure of public support.
Keep your punches up, protect yourself at all times, good luck, shake hands, come out fighting.
May 25, 1965 was supposed to have been Liston's date with redemption. Instead, history wrote a different story.
From Lewiston, Maine, the world's heavyweight boxing championship. Unusual locale tonight, but definitely unusual all the way.
Everything went wrong with this fight. It was supposed to have been held in Boston. Ali had a hernia. Robert Goulet couldn't remember the words to the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early night?
Which kind of symbolized how things were going to go.
The big fight, the big night, round number one.
A little over a minute into the round, Ali lands his punch to the jaw. Liston goes down.
A right hand shot on the chin.
It wasn't that hard a punch, but Liston was coming in and he was off balance. It was a combination of surprise and force of the punch.
The shots you don't see is the shots that get you out of it. It was no phantom punch. He hit him.
Liston went down, whether he was hit or not. Jersey Joe Walcott is trying to get Ali into the neutral corner. Ali's doing his thing. He finally gets him there, and he starts counting.
Ultimately, he gets up, and all of a sudden, Jersey Joe Walcott, the referee, is called over to the side of the ring by Nat Fleischer of Ring Magazine to tell him he'd been down for more than 10 seconds.
He didn't know whether to count, he didn't know whether to stop the fight, he just was absolutely confused.
Walcott turns back to these two guys who are about to fight again and says 10.
He calls the fight off. That's crazy. Who's Nat Fleischer? He's just another guy at ringside. He had no authority whatsoever.
The timekeeper counted out Liston in 1 minute of the first round, the winner, and still a heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali.
When the comedy of errors ended, Liston, as always, was the butt of cruel jokes, and widely accused of taking a dive.
He probably could have gotten up and for some reason went on strike at the count of 4 and decided, the hell with the world, I ain't getting up.
Ali's standing over him saying, "Get up, you bum, nobody will believe this. Get up and fight."
In his mind, he's saying, hey, I got enough money to air condition hell now. I don't need this anymore. I'm gonna lay there.
I talked to Sonny maybe a month before the fight. He says, my people don't give a about me. He says, they don't even care about me anymore.
Either he couldn't get up or he wouldn't get up. In either case, it was time for him to find another line of work.
For those who did not believe that Ali's punch had enough steam to flatten Liston, the search for an answer led to Elijah Muhammad's Nation of Islam.